All right, then it's time for What's Up and About. And quite a few things that are up and about these days, I have to say. But it's a Wednesday, so we went online and we tried to figure out which one was more pertinent to discuss right now. Now, one of the scariest things a parent has to think about is, you know, when you're not there to protect your child from things that maybe you or someone you know went through in school, you know, and there was a video that, I believe it was you, Winfrey, that posted it on the group, of a young boy, looked like maybe SS1 or something like that, SS2, was being belted by a fellow student. I was... It's kind of those kind of posts that if I actually come across them, I try to just scroll past quickly because I don't want to get emotional about it. But it was obviously a secondary school, and I'm not sure which particular secondary school it is, but it was mentioned that it was a federal
government college.
Federal government.
In Enugu.
Enugu. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
From the post, there was a line that said, you know, I'm not surprised. My school, I'm not surprised.
So yeah, so this post was basically dropped by, so I actually saw the story watching TV, right? And of course it piqued my interest and all of that. And then seeing it again, it was now reposted by Alex Unusual, speaking about the fact that that was the school she attended and she had this exact same thing happen to her when she was in the school. So I think her grievance was like, are you even joking? Like, how many years down the line and things like this are still happening in the school?
Wow.
It's actually quite crazy. So in the video, you literally see a boy, which, yeah, is probably in SS1, SS2, being flogged by multiple people, right? And then, I mean, being flogged is even one thing with a belt, right? And then there was a time, I think someone stepped in and was consistently hitting his head. We could not see the object now and all of that. And it was just absolutely insane, right? So I remember being in First Comprehensive School, Ibadan, and have several things like this happen to me. So, I mean, there was a time that it was actually banned. So it was referred to as brutalization. But then again, you know how, okay, then there were several schools that were Air Force based and then military schools, you get. So sometimes my school wasn't military, it was comprehensive. So, but then again, you know, several things were filtered down to the schools because in the end of the day, we're still trained and groomed by the recruits and by the airmen and all of that, the military guys and stuff like that. So even talking about teachers flogging, talking and all of that. But then again, there was a time student to student brutalization was literally banned. And I mean, if any case of that was heard, you were actually either rusticated or suspended. However, within the students, you still know the kind of things that happen because they'll tell you, oh yeah, now report me. I will go on suspension, I'll come back and I'll meet you in this school. So it was actually, so crazy things like that happened. I remember I personally was actually a victim of something like this, but it wasn't even like a multiple thing. It was like a one-on-one kind of thing and all of that. And it wasn't a funny thing, but
But the thing is, going through something like that, the kids of today, I'm not trying to say the kids of today are different, but it just feels like there should be a lot more awareness about things like this, and people would have done something about it. So this was recorded. There was a cell phone in a secondary school boarding house, first of all, and it was being recorded like as if it was content. There was no one begging for him, no one even in the background trying to, you know, get someone to stop, pull him off. It was like he was being encouraged.
You know, this begs the question or the concern on a lot of issues. The use of social media and the kind of damage it is doing to our young ones. It begs to question our sense of humanity, even as even at that age, right? Bullying happens in schools. We have experienced it in diverse ways. Even, I think, some time ago, I think the last time I went for the kids' open day at school, a kid was bullying my first daughter. And I usually always say to them, when a kid bullies you at school, report to your teacher. Right, don't retaliate. You shouldn't. It's wrong to, you know, retaliate. Just report to your teacher. And in this case, she reported to the teacher. And then I asked her, because I'll always ask, what did your teacher do? And she said, my teacher just, warned him. And for me, that wasn't enough because this is someone that she's complained about over and over and over and over again. And then I had a conversation with the boy, the young child. And I said to him, why are you doing that? You should be protecting her as a boy. It's your duty to protect her. She's a girl. How would you feel if someone hit you? Would you feel good about it? And you could tell that, at that point in time, I sort of reined in my emotions for a minute because then I'm like, it may not be coming from him. It may be coming from his home, where he's coming from. Yeah. He's sort of experiencing, he could be experiencing some sort of level of violence from home. Yeah. So he's acting out what he sees. He's mirroring what he sees. So in this sort of situation, the parent becomes accountable. And in this sort of situation as well, the school becomes accountable, and I'll tell you why. In situations where kids have reported other kids for bullying, the school has a role to play. In this sort of situation, we have seen videos that go viral of students being bullied at schools. There was the other case where the girl was arrested. She was remanded in court. All of these cases, what is the role of the school? What is the role of the Ministry of Education in this regard? Because in this situation where bullying has become more rampant, the Ministry of Education has a role to play in regards to creating that awareness, and there has to be some level of orientation across board. If they have to include it into the school curriculum, because there is a subject called civic education. It borders on morals, values, principles, how children should behave. So you inculcate it into the system as well, because at this point it is a systematic or systemic problem, and it has to be addressed one way or another.
I think there's an issue with regards to supervision as well, and whoever the supervisors of these kids are, because sadly the term "boys will be boys" has become. Boys will be boys, and any pikin will go spoil, those kind of things. Right now, you can't really control what happens in this child's house because you're not there. You don't know exactly you don't know whether the child doing it is from a broken home. You don't know whether it's even an
so that's where the school comes in.
So let me say this, right? Being someone who has actually experienced this type of thing. So now the setting is obviously a boarding school setting. Yeah. And we need to understand that when you're in a boarding school, the influence is different. Completely. So yes, of course, they might have issues from home and all of that. But in this particular case, now we're talking about boarding school. It's a situation where you have, in my school, we had SS3 to JS1 in the same dormitory because there was because there's even distribution. And of course, you need to understand that there are certain systems, of course, and even the Nigerian system would like to put in the whole respect idea. Why? So from JS1, you're calling JS2 senior this, senior that. Saturday, they're telling you you're all JS1. Get me a bottle of water. So my point is,
for bullying
so even the ones that did not spoil from home, there's a very high tendency for them to spoil in the school because of what they're seeing. So now it was a situation, I remember I actually had an option of leaving the school. And one of the things that literally was used to keep me in the school was that, okay, fine, all these things you're saying you're complaining about were in Lagos. Several times my mom had come to school, my hair was cut, I was injured, I was flogged. So do you understand? And all these things happened. The main thing that was used to keep me there was, okay, now that you're a senior now, now it's your turn.
Now it's
that
your
kind of
turn.
thing. So it's a mentality. So even when the school literally puts it there and says, okay, fine, this is not it. Within the students, there's already a way things are being done. So it now literally takes, like for instance, I made a pact when I was in school, I will never do, because I don't know, so people these things happen to people and they actually look forward to do it in other people. But I told myself that, see, I will never be in a position where they will say, okay, Winfrey actually did this to a junior student because, do you understand? So my point is, in the end of the day, it still will boil down to the particular child, one, because whether you like it or not, at what age you should be able to think for yourself. Then, of course, the school, and then the repercussions of, things like this happening. And then sometimes even the dormitory people, supervisors. The boys, yes, they are literally, they know this things are happening. They just tell them, okay, I know
it's normal. It's okay,
It is not
so normal. At the end of the day, one critical question we need to walk away with is, what kind of kids are you raising? And it starts from you as a parent. You need to self-evaluate yourself and the sort of conversations you're having with your partner, with your employees, even with your kids. Because these are the kids, these are the things they will mirror outside, at school, in the society, and hurts people.
Let's see what the audience think about the conversation. Please use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC and tag us Wake Up Nigeria, TVCE on Instagram. We are going to take a break. We will be back after this.